Yeah, good morning, students. This video is on self-learning topic 7, that is the basic concepts of pipelining. So, in the previous class, we had a discussion on how the instruction execution cycle will be there, and generally, the instructions are executed by making use of this five-stage hardware, and every instruction is making use of these five different steps in execution of that instruction. So that is the reason every instruction is taking 5 clock cycles to complete its execution. So this topic is how we can improve the performance of the instruction execution. That is the topic for self-learning. So basic concepts of pipelining. This lecture objectives are: this session will develop students' knowledge on fundamental concepts of pipelining and instruction execution. So, by making use of this pipelining concept, so how we can improve the execution of these programs. Generally, the speed of execution of programs is influenced by many factors. So one way to improve the performance is to use faster circuit technology to implement the processor and as well as the main memory. And another possibility is to arrange the hardware in such a way that more than one operation can be performed or executed at the same time. So this is the another way of uh, achieving the or improving the performance of the execution of an instruction. So when we are arranging the hardware in such a way that if we are executing more than one operation, so there are different ways of execution of that instruction. So the number of operations performed per second is increased, even though the time needed to perform any one operation is not changed. So the concept of pipelining is arrived from the industry, manufacturing industry basically. Automobile manufacturing plants, they will make use of an assembly line to assemble a particular automobile by following different stages. So that is the basic funda for giving rise this concept of pipelining, how we can make use of this pipelining operation in execution of this instruction. Generally, when we are performing the assembly line, so generally the automobile assembly line will follow the different stages, like one first stage automobile choice chassis will be taken. The next stage we will add the body, and in the next following stage the engine will be installed, and so on, like that. One group of workers are working on one particular stage. For example, one group of workers are installing the engine on one automobile, another group of workers are fitting the body on the second automobile, and so on, like that. The multiple groups are working parallelly to assemble this automobile, so that the automobiles are assembled in a bulk manner within a short time, in a few hours or in a few days they can complete their assembly process, so that they can manufacture the bulk amount of automobiles in the same manner. So if we are able to coincide that particular concept of assembly line in a computer hardware when we are executing that instruction, so the idea of pipelining is used here in computers for execution of these instructions. So we had a discussion on five-stage processor organization and the corresponding data path we already discussed in the previous classroom discussion topic, while the instructions are fetched and executed one at a time. So generally every instruction will take 5 clock cycles to complete its execution. So if we have three instructions, so three instructions are executed without a pipelining. So it almost takes 5 plus 5 plus 5. So totally 15 clock cycles are required for completely executing all these three instructions. Because every instruction takes 5 clock cycles. So 5 plus 5 plus 5, if we want to execute three instructions, 15 clock cycles are required. So if we are able to implement this pipelining concept, so we can able to reduce this number of clock cycles required for execution of the same three instructions. So we will see in this coming slide how this pipelining can be implemented. This is an ideal situation. Okay, so if you take this, these are the clock cycles. So clock cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are the three instructions ij plus 1 and ij plus 2. So we already know that every instruction will go these five stages to complete its execution. So fetch, decode, compute, memory, and write. These are the five stages. So the instruction ij is fetched in the first cycle. In the first cycle, the instruction ij is fetched and moves through the remaining stages in the following clock cycles. So in the second clock cycle, if you see that the instruction ij plus 1 is fetched while the instruction ij is in the decode stage. The instruction ij is in the decode stage where the operands are also read from the register file. So in the third clock cycle, the instruction ij plus 2 is fetched here, and the instruction ij is in compute stage and ij plus 1 is in decode stage. So this is how ideally the overlapping of execution of these instructions are executed here. So in clock cycle, during the clock cycle 3, all the three instructions are executing in a concurrent manner in different stages. So this type of execution of the instructions in a concurrent manner is called it as a pipelining concept. So without pipelining, just we saw that it requires 5 plus 5 plus 5. So totally 15 clock cycles are needed. But if we are making use of this pipelining concept, how many clock cycles are required to complete all the three instructions execution? Anyone please? So totally how many clock cycles are required to complete all these three instruction execution? So it requires only 7 clock cycles. So earlier without pipelining we require 15 clock cycles to complete these three instructions execution completely. But with pipelining concept we are making use of only 7 clock cycles. We are able to complete these three instructions execution. So that is we are improving the performance of the processor if you are making use of this pipelining concept in instruction execution. So that is what the basic funda about pipeline. But this is an ideal case. Okay, so it may not be possible for us so that all the instructions are coming in the consecutive clock cycles. Okay, so this is what the pipelining concept is basically. So the lecture outcome is that after completion of this self-learning topic, you will be able to understand what is the basic instruction execution and how the instructions will be executed in a pipelined manner so that the performance can be improved. Fine. So thank you, one and all.